Sunday afternoon. This is Rubbin Minds. Welcome. My name is Ebuka Obiuchi, and thanks for joining us today. Still in the month of September. Like I said last week, the year is fast running by. December is upon us. And as if to make things even worse, it looks like 2019, the 2019 elections are in full gear. Very interesting week we've had with regards to, things shaping up for the race to ASUU 2 years from now. So you would think that maybe things would have started out slowly, but we got a bazinga this week from a minister of this government. And I don't know, it looks like things are going to be very, very interesting. And we're going to be talking about that much later on in the show. And of course, all of the distractions that might bring with it with regards to, this government actually doing the job that they've been elected to do, with a year and a half or so left for them to run this country. But we're going to start off, of course, with other issues that caught our attention this week. And I have here with me Yemi, Saka. Thanks for being here today. It's
nice to be here. But if I might just quickly check something. Yes. The race for 2019 started May 29, 2015.
Yes. And you just hit it up this week.
But it became pronounced this week.
Yes, and a few declarations shocked a lot of people. But like I said, we'll talk about that more later. But let's talk about the ASUU strike now. And it's been on for a couple of weeks now.
2 3 weeks.
And I know that there was talk about Mr. President. What was he going to do? He wasn't even in the country at the time when it started. We're not sure what the Minister of Labour and Employment was going to do with the situation. But this week we hear that the federal government and ASUU have resolved to set up a 7-man committee to work out modalities for the actualization of the 2009 agreement, which has been the bone of contention all this while. So we hear that they've agreed to suspend the strike. They keep suspending the strike, which means it's most likely going to come back again at some point. What are your thoughts on how things have shaped up this time?
Well, I'll be very critical of this government and government before it. It's just obvious. The reason why ASUU always go on strike is because the public office holders or public servants don't have any of their kids or wards in public institution of learning. I will cite an instance. I have a friend of mine in Katsina State. Then he was a minority leader in the House of Assembly, now a majority leader because APC is now in government. And he took his document to the governor of Katsina State, Governor Masari, and insisted that everybody in his cabinet must have their children in public schools. And that is fantastic because I got to know about this because we compared notes. I came up with a draft, which I call Public Officers Conduct Bill. If you don't patronize the general hospitals, the private healthcare centers, the schools, you won't know what they need at one point in time. I'll mention names. If Governor Jimobi or Governor Igbeshola had their kids in Lautech would not be shot till we speak. And when federal government came up with this, anytime anybody or an institution come up against this government, there's this emotional blackmail. Now, federal government initially came up with a position that they want to carry out a forensic audit of the earlier disbursed funds to ASUU and to take them 6 months. And the question is, what are you guys waiting for that long? And we have a society that, especially this administration, has blackmailed every other arm of government except itself. Talk about ASUU strike, talk about medical resident doctor strike. You hear, yes, all the whole money to run the economy is going to the National Assembly. What's the fraction of the budget going to the National Assembly? Look at ASUU, for instance. ASUU has a current expenditure for the year 2017 of 22 billion naira. 12 billion is going to go for salaries. How much is ASUU? 50 million naira is going for evacuation of sewage. So these are things we should do. These people are so insensitive, like the government before it and probably the government coming after it. So unless we have a public office conduct bill that stipulates or makes it mandatory for public office holders to have their kids to go to private institutions, ASUU will always go on strike.
But what does it say about the kind of people we elect and we Nigerians as a whole that it has to... if you're elected to run a state, what if you're a single man? Why do you have to have a child in one of these places to feel it? Does it mean that if I don't have kids or if I'm not married, does it mean I will always be insensitive to things that affect children? You know what I'm saying? Why does it have to be? Why does it have to get to that for these people to understand what it takes? That people's children are at home for no reason.
I think we just have to what we can just do to compel them to say what we're going through, because I think by the time they get into offices or their various offices, they just build an echo chamber around them. And their aides and what have you echo back the sentiments, sorry for my choice of idiocy and what have you, back to them. And they don't really know what is happening out there. Unless they feel a bit of it. In my area, when I was growing up, there was somebody that contested for the LCDA chairmanship. She won. And under 2 years, she left Agboye K2 and started living in Lekki. So these people are so far away from the constituency from these people they are leading. The chasm gets wider day by day in office. So we have to compel them. The National Assembly can do that. They could come up with public office conduct bill. They can even amend the constitution to accommodate it. That's the only way how to withdraw with these leaders we have as we speak.
I want to talk about the Minister of Labour and Employment now. There's been talk since this strike started that, oh, this is a creation of the last administration. This agreement was not signed by the APC government, so we're only carrying a burden, you know, which was imposed on us. And a lot of people thought this strike was going to go on for months. And we're hearing already that an agreement might be reached. How would you rate the minister for this?
I don't know. There's some guys we should question their credentials in public office. You probably want to tell us that you didn't sign this agreement, but I'll cite another instance. 2003, there about President Olusegun Obasanjo inaugurated the railway revival, especially the Kaduna-Abuja rail track. President Yar'Adua took delivery of 10 trains from China. President Jonathan pursued it aggressively as a talking point for political reasons. And when it was commissioned, the APC government was going around town claiming claims, taking the benefits and glory. So why should they run away from this? Government is a continuous process. You inherit the burden, the deficits, the liabilities, and the credits. And they've done that. Oh, okay, why didn't they say they didn't create Boko Haram crisis? They should leave it there and let's call from President Goodluck Jonathan or PDP to come and solve it. That is childish and pretty immature.